back to All About That Disney Life. I am Danny B, the girl who is all about that Disney life. The next movie we will be talking about is the Aristocats that came out in 1970. So let's get to know the cast who helped to make this movie possible. Phil Harris was J. Thomas O'Malley. Eva Gaber was Duchess. Gary Dubbin was Toulouse. Liz English was Marie. Dean Clark was Berlioz. Sterling Holloway was Roquefort. Scatman Carruthers was Scatcat. Paul Winchell was Sean Gunn. Lord Tim Hudson was Hitcat. Vito Scotti was Peppo. Thurl Ravenscoff was Billy Boss. Nancy Culp was Frou Frou. Pat Buttram was Napoleon. George Lindsay was Lafayette. Hermione Baddeley was Madame Adelaide Bonfemme. Charles Lane was Georges Harcourt. Roddy Maud Roxby was Edgar Balthazar. Monica Evans was Abigail Gable. Carol Shelley was Amelia Gable. Bill Thompson was Uncle Waldo. And Peter Renaday was the French milkman, the Le Petit Café cook, and the truck movers. So now let's move on to all the facts about this amazing feline movie. Number 1, story development. On December 9th of 1961, Disney suggested to Harry Tuttle and Tom McCowan to find some animal stories to adapt as a 2-part live-action episode for the Wonderful World of Color TV program. In the new year of 1962, McGowan found a children's book about a mother cat and her kittens set in New York City. Because 101 Dalmatians was set in London and it was a great setting, they decided to set this project in Paris. The original story was about 2 servants, a butler and a maid, who were in line to inherit a fortune of an eccentric mistress after the pet cats died, and focused on their attempts to get rid of the cats. A subplot was centered around a mother cat hiding her kittens to keep them safe in a variety of different homes and locales around Paris. The story was written by Tom Rowe, an American writer who was living in Paris. Number 2, the project was almost rejected. What did you say? Hold on, here's what happened. In August of 1962, Tuttle and McGowan sent the story idea to Disney Studios, but the studios rejected it. McGowan suggested to sell the story somewhere else. However, he learned that Walt Disney was staying at the Connaught in London. McGowan then slipped the story idea in an envelope for Disney to read and left that envelope at the hotel front desk. Disney contacted McGowan saying he liked the story idea and he would meet with Tuttle in Lisbon, Portugal. On August 29th, on their flight back to London, Disney told Tuttle to purchase the story for a live-action version with McGowan as the director. Number 3, changes. Changes were made in January and February of 1963. In June of 1963, Rowe wrote a letter to Disney addressing his dislike of the script changes. Tuttle responded to Rowe that the changes Disney approved of would be kept. The movie got shelved, and in August of 1963, Tuttle suggested that this movie should be an animated movie, which Disney agreed to. Tuttle showed the project to Wolfgang Reitherman, who was directing The Jungle Book, and he agreed it would work great as an animated movie. Disney shelved the project temporarily because the animation department was occupied with The Jungle Book. In April of 1964, Otto Eglandar, the story artist, was assigned to work on the movie. In November of 1964, during a meeting, Disney thought the cats should talk among themselves, but never in front of humans, like in 101 Dalmatians. Because of production delays, Bill Anderson told Tuttle to focus his efforts on live-action projects, and Tuttle was replaced with Winston Hebler. Number 4, a new story. In 1966, Disney assigned Ken Anderson to determine whether this project would be appropriate for an animated movie. Anderson started from scratch and made the 2 stories simple by focusing more on the cats. Disney saw the beginning sketches and approved the project shortly before his death. Reitherman was in charge of producing duties and later got rid of the emotional story of Duchess's obsession to find human adopters for her kittens. The movie was changed to an adventure comedy like in the way of the 101 Dalmatians. There was a character named Elvira, who was a maid, who was going to be voiced by Elsa Lanchester. She was removed from the story to make Edgar the central villain in order to make the storyline more simple. Number 5, the release. The Aristocats was released to theaters on December 24th, 1970. It was released as a double feature with Neok, the Orphan Elephant, and the movie was re-released in theaters in 1980 and 1987. Number 6, the box office. By January 1972, it earned $10.1 million in box office rentals from the United States and Canada. The movie became most popular general release film at the British box office in 1971. It was the most popular film in France in 1971 with total admissions of $12.7 million. And it was ranked the 18th highest grossing film of all time in France. The movie is the most popular movie released in Germany in 1971 with admissions of $11.3 million being the country's 11th highest grossing movie. At the end of its initial theatrical run, the movie earned domestic rentals of $11 million and $17 million in foreign countries, worldwide rental of $28 million. During its re-release on December 19, 1980, it made $18 million. When it was re-released on April 10, 1987, it made an additional $17 million. The movie made a $32 million worldwide from an international re-release in 1994, including $11 million in France, for a lifetime domestic gross of $55.7 million in the United States and Canada, for a total lifetime worldwide box office gross of $191 million. Number 7, some bonus facts. The title Aristocats is a play on word combining aristocrats and cats. This is the last movie to end with a Walt Disney production and the first of the Walt Disney animated classics to open with Walt Disney Productions Presents. Robbie Lester, who was Duchess's singing voice, would later narrate the read-along version of the movie. Everybody Wants to Be a Cat was briefly shown in the live-action remake of 101 Dalmatians, which the puppies were watching before switching to Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey. Scat Cat was written with Louis Armstrong in mind, with an original name being Stachmo Cat. But Armstrong was very sick to play the character and was then given to Scatman Carruthers and given the song Everybody Wants to Be a Cat. It replaced the one the Sherman Brothers wrote for Armstrong, Le Jazz Hot. Well, that song title got used for another movie, Victor Victoria, with Julie Andrews. The car that Georges drives resembles a 1913 Mercer 35J raceabout. The kittens have an uncle, Anton, that only appears in the original book, not the movie. The characters appear in the TV show The House of Mouse, except for the kittens. There are no end credits at the end of the movie, but there are opening credits. Roquefort narrates the Disneyland Records version of the movie. In Disneyland Records, some of the main characters, Roquefort, Napoleon, Lafayette, Abigail, and Amelia, are voiced by their original voice actors, but Duchess and her kittens are not. Toulouse was going to be named Dopey, seen on one of the early storyboards, until his name was changed. Marie is named after Marie Antoinette, Berlioz is named after Hector Berlioz, and Toulouse is named after Henry de Toulouse-Lautrec and the French city Toulouse. And during the train scene, the whistle sound was originally used in the 1948 short movie Desert Empire. It's a Star Brass 5 chime whistle. And there you have it, all the facts about this amazing feline movie. If you like this video, please hit that like button and leave a comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe, and I hope you have a zippity-doo-dah day. Goodbye.